YouTube, Facebook, what is good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Recession-Proof Designer. This is part 3 of 4, y'all. We're in the home stretch now. We are in the home stretch. We only have one more episode after today, and that is on Thursday. So the first 2 episodes were super dope. They were only supposed to be like 20, 25 minutes long. We end up going closer to an hour. So shout out to everybody who has tuned in. Let me just say, hey, looks like we got 10 viewers on here so far. What's good, y'all? What is good? Royal, what's good, my brother? Alex, what up, bro? It's good to see you, my man. Keith, we got the family in the building. It's good to see you guys, man. Truly, truly. James, welcome, my brother. Welcome. Look, I need to fix these comments. Sometimes they're huge, sometimes they're not. Cool. Hold up, y'all. All right. Cool. There we go. All right. What's happening, y'all? Telvin, what is good? What is good, my brother? It's good to see some familiar faces in here. Look, I still got the do-rag line on here, y'all, but it is what it is. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Okay, so this one's gonna be good, y'all. So I just wanted to recap a little bit on what we talked about the first couple episodes. So episode 1, which was last Monday, we talked about the 3 levels of designers and the 3 levels of clients. And when it comes to the levels of designers, it's just based off of my experience when I've been coaching the past year or so, just off of the data that I've collected and other designers that I've kind of come into contact with. So we talked about that. We talked about, let me see here, the only way to move throughout the levels. We talked about that as well. I gave you guys throughout a challenge for you guys to increase your prices. Even before you add any more value, just pick a service and double it. Just to get you comfortable with charging more, because it'll kind of force you to operate at a higher level, and force yourself to kind of justify the prices that you're charging. So a lot of designers get really comfortable, even if they're making decent money, they just get comfortable where they are and don't really push themselves. When you don't push yourself, you pretty much you'll stagnate, or you'll find yourself plateauing or staying at a level where you're not really adding more value to your clients, as much value as you could be adding. So that's why I threw out that challenge last week as well. And then on episode 2, we talked about the toilet flush effect and what that was. If you guys haven't watched those, definitely go back and check out the replays if you're on YouTube. They're right on my channel. If you're not on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, go to my YouTube channel. Check them out. Last Thursday, Facebook was having some issues. They made some updates, so I wasn't able to stream on Facebook, but I was still on YouTube. So check out both replays on YouTube. Jen, what's good? Good to see you as always. Joe, my guy, my right-hand man. Joe, what is good, my brother? Crispy, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you guys, man. Truly. All right, y'all. So this one, we're going to talk about the 7 habits of high-value designers. And to be honest, I could create like a year's worth of content about habits of high-value designers. But I'm only going to stick to about 7 today, okay? I'm going to stick to about 7. I just want to write down a couple more notes that I was thinking about as well. Ownership. Okay, and hold on, y'all. Okay, all right, y'all. So we're going to run through them, and then we'll do like a little bit of Q&A, okay? So it's a lot of habits of high value designers. But I'm going to just give you a few in no particular order. Lakeitra, what is good? Good to see you. All right. So number 1, we communicate. I know it's probably not a surprise or nothing revolutionary, but I found that. And look, y'all, you got to understand, everything that I'm explaining to you guys on these videos, I learned from experience. And I went through, the growing pains in this space like every other designer. So I don't want you to think that, oh, he thinks he's perfect. He never made any of these mistakes. No, I made them all. That's why I can speak to you about them. so passionately because I made them all. Okay. So this one, communicate. How was that designer that didn't communicate? I still struggle with it to this day, to be honest, but I've gotten a lot better. Communicate, 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 communicate with your clients. I ain't gonna put you out there, but you know who you are. You on the broadcast right now. I'm working with a designer on communicating right now. You got to communicate with your clients. What does that mean? Keep them aware. First, it starts before the engagement begins. You got to answer their questions before they ask them. A lot of designers, I know one guy in particular, he's afraid. I'm like, look, you need to have the conversation. You need to have a money conversation as quickly and as early in the discovery process as possible. Don't leave it up to them to ask you, okay, how much is this stuff going to cost? What's the timeline? Have the conversation. Don't get off the phone and say, look, I'm going to send you a proposal. So give you a couple options. No, let them know right there on the phone what the options are and get there either yes or no right there. You got to communicate. You got to communicate. When you do that, it shows that you're confident in what you do and what you can deliver. Okay. You got to communicate early and often. Got to communicate. So before the engagement starts, make sure they know, okay, how much it's going to be, what the payment schedule is going to be, what the timeline is, like when you need stuff from them. If you're waiting on content for a website or whatever, you need to give them dates, because if you don't, that's how scope creep happens. That's how the project will just drag on and on. Like I used to be in situations where, let's say I was waiting on feedback from a client, right? On, let's say, some logo revisions, and they didn't give me feedback right away. Let's say they got busy. I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't follow up. I would just wait because I was busy anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get back to me when they get back to me, and I'll just work on the next project and the next project. Next thing you know, a month went past, and then they hit me back up. But no, you can't do that, y'all. I know it's a bad habit that we have as designers, but you can't do that. You have to let them know, and you got to put this stuff in the contract too. Like, when I send you some logos to review, I need to hear back from you within, let's say, 48 hours, maximum. Like, you need to make that stuff very clear. You need to have a sense of urgency, because you are a high level designer. You're busy. So if that project drags on, it's going to butt into other projects, and it's going to end up pushing other projects back. So you need to make sure that your clients know that you're a high level service provider. You're busy. You have other projects, and it needs to stay on schedule, and it keeps you honest, and it keeps you on schedule as well. So you're not just dragging on, because it goes both ways. It's on us and it's on the clients, right? So you got to make sure that you communicate. If you're going to be late on something, let the client know, hey, something came up. I need another couple days or whatever. Just make sure that they know, because you don't ever want to get in a situation where the client's asking you, hey, what's the status on this? I'm still working on that, right? But let them know, because if you're thinking, oh, I wonder if they're wondering what's going on with the project or whatever, they probably are. So just let them know ahead of time where you are on the timeline. Okay, just make sure that you communicate. Okay. You said been learning heavy. Scope creep. Ooh, I could write a book on scope creep, y'all. I mentioned it last week. I had a project that lasted a year and a half. So I'm an expert in scope creep. So yeah, it happens. So if you're not familiar with scope creep is, it's basically when the scope of the project, it just balloons, and it just, it may start out, it's like a small scope, and then, let's say certain things get added on to the project, or the timeline just gets extended longer and longer. You end up doing revision after revision after revision. You didn't really set the expectations properly up front. That's how it happens, and you end up being frustrated. Clients may end up being frustrated, or you may feel like you're getting raked over the coals, like you're getting taken advantage of. You end up resentful. It's bad. So you just don't want that to happen. But it doesn't happen when you set expectations properly up front, and then you stick to the expectations that were set. Okay. David McGill, what is good, my brother? What's happening? Shout out to David, one of my clients, my buddy of mine, trucking from scratch. Shout out to David. Moswell Designs, good to see you as well. Yeah, so that's number one, y'all. Communicate. You got to communicate with your clients, okay? You got to communicate. Number two is taking ownership. So this goes both ways, okay? One, take ownership when you F up. If you do something, you mess up something, you don't deliver, you gotta take ownership. I got tons of examples of taking ownership, but let's say I'm getting someone to help me out, or if I have a contractor helping me out with a project. We deliver, let's say, some design concepts to a client. Client isn't feeling it, or let's say they rip it apart. I got to take ownership. I can't say, oh, that was such and such, or somebody on my team that did it. No, it's me. I take ownership, you know what I'm saying, as the captain of the ship. All right. I take ownership of it. Say, okay, you know what? We're going to go back to the drawing board or whatever. Whatever your process is, you got to take ownership of it. You got to put it on your back. So it goes that way. And you got to take ownership of just your client's overall brands and their design needs. Like I think about, like, I work with a few retainer clients right now, right? I take ownership as if it's my own brand, like if it was my baby. So, for example, if there's, like, let's say, I'm working on a slide deck or something, and there's like a couple spelling errors, or just little minor things that may, in the past, I'm not gonna say I did this, but you may just gloss over, like, oh, it ain't a big deal, nobody's gonna notice this. Like, no, you got to make sure that the client is aware. Okay, I noticed X, Y, and Z on here, even though that's not even really your job. Copywriting, I don't do copywriting, but if I see something that, let's say, it doesn't make sense, or even something like a run-on sentence or something that may need to be tweaked, I'll let the client know, like, hey, I noticed this. Might want to adjust that. So you have to take ownership of that as well. And you have to think more holistically about what they're doing. So let's say you have like 5 flyers to do, but they probably could benefit from having something else. For example, if there's a conference where, let me try to think of an example. So one client comes to mind, Jasmine Womack. So she had it was like a couple months ago, but one of the speakers requested a flyer to show their participation. So I was like, you know what? I'll actually create one for all of them. And this is what wasn't something that was requested of me, because it was something, I think it was a private event. That's what it was. It was a private event. So it wasn't something that was really going to be broadcast anyway, like for promotion for external people to sign up. But one of the people on her team was like, hey, you mind if I have a flyer for just to show my participation as a coach or whatever? I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one for everybody. Check with Jasmine to see if it's okay. But like little stuff like that, where it's like, you know what, it would benefit. So if I do one for him, you know what, why don't I just do one for everybody? And of course, it depends on your situation. Of course, they're on retainer, so it's not like, it's like stuff that's a la carte. But still, I'm taking ownership to say, okay, if I'm doing this for one person, I might as well do it for everybody as well. Okay, so you definitely want to take ownership and try to anticipate stuff that they may need. Let's say if it's one flyer with like a few people on it, why not break it out and have a few with one for each individual to promote on their own social media. All right, so take ownership that way. Okay. Another quick example of that is just going a bit above and beyond without the client asking you. For example, this may take a bit of a weird twist and turn, but this is the easiest example I can think of. So this is a while back, but stuff like this happens from time to time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really a photographer, so I don't deal with this stuff all the time. But for example, I had one client. She had like a lot of cleavage going on in her in her photo for her flyer, and but without her even asking me, I kind of made it a bit more modest, because I knew the audience of the flyer and what the event was for and stuff like that, and I knew this wasn't, I knew the client's vibe and what they were going for. So then she ended up asking me. I was like, I already took care of that. She's like, I didn't even know how to ask you, but I appreciate it. Thanks for tightening that hemline, that neckline, making it a bit more modest. Stuff like whitening the teeth, getting rid of blemishes, little stuff like that will not only make the fly look good, but it enhances the overall quality of the image as well. Just thinking. Because the client, a lot of times, they're not just going to ask you, look, can you my face is messed up. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you fix this blemish, that blemish? Sometimes they just won't ask you. But if you get in the habit of just taking care of those little minor things, I'm not saying make them look completely different, throwing them in the app to make them look like a different person, but just going that extra level, taking that extra step to make sure that you just do little things like that to enhance the overall image, just on their behalf. Okay. Nipple prints, stuff like that. It was like, she probably doesn't want that shown on the image on the flyer. Let me go ahead and take care of that because we have the ability to do that. So just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Number 3. Oh, let me just check in with the audience. Well, I know you know. Brandon, what is good? Good to see you. Yep. The details. Okay. Constantly thinking of ways to add more value than what we're paid for. And also doing what's in our worst interest. I have this as one of the martial laws. Do what's in your worst interest. So what does that mean? It's more provocative than anything, but it's really to do what's in the client's best interest. So with me, for example, everybody that comes to me, I don't think about it from the perspective of I want to get this client. I think about every potential engagement from the perspective of who's the best fit. Who do I know that's the best fit for this client? Almost like I'm a broker of sorts. Like, and I assume that I'm not. I kind of go into every potential engagement. Everybody that reaches out to me, I have the mind frame of I'm not the best fit for them. Like when you go into it like that, and I know it's easier said than done, but when you go into every potential engagement like that, with that hat on, looking at it from that lens, it forces you to be subjective. Like, who is the best fit? Who do I know that's probably the best fit for this client? Like, first, before me. Like, I assume that it's not, I'm assuming that we're not a good fit. And I just got in the habit of doing that. And it's almost like I like to think of myself as the last resort for every client that reaches out to me. So when you have that lens, it just forces you to, like I said, look at it objectively and do what's best for them, whether it's you or not. So somebody reaches out to me, you know, I listen to what they think they need. If we hop on a discovery call, I'll ask a bunch of questions. And then if I feel like I'm a good fit, then I may talk about, you know, what my options are. If I think somebody else may be a better fit. For example, I had one client, she, excuse me, wanted to use Squarespace, but she was open to using Wix. And I use Wix exclusively. So, but being as though she preferred to use Squarespace, that's what she was familiar with, I could have easily got the project. I could have made about 10 grand off the project. But I was like, okay, she prefers to use Squarespace. I know somebody who's a beast at Squarespace who would love this project and probably be a better fit for this client, you know, based off of the type of business that she had, you know, the vibe that she had and all of that. So I I put them in touch with each other. And, you know, she came back and thanked me like, thank you. Like, she's my person. The designer you plugged me in with, it was like a match made in heaven. I'm like, boom. Could I have easily made that 10 grand and took that project where the client happily had paid? Yes. But I go into it like, okay, who's the best fit for this based off of what they need? So that's just a habit of high value designers. Like, we do what's in our worst interest. I'm not saying it's in my worst interest, because at the end of the day, knowing what's in her best interest, in the long run, it's in my best interest too. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the keys to longevity, keys to sustained success in this space is thinking of things like that, you know? So of course the designer was grateful as well. So it's like a win-win. So, it's another quick example I'll give you guys. As a designer, not a designer. Well, he kind of is now, but somebody reached out to me. He's like, hey man, we want to do a new logo. I think at the time, maybe I was like charging like $2,500 for a logo. And I was like, okay, why? Because this is another nugget. I think I'm gonna save it for next week. I mean, Thursday. But it's 3 questions you need to ask. Make sure you turn in on Thursday. 3 questions you need to ask every potential client. But I was like, okay, why you need a new logo? What's wrong with the logo you have? I actually think it's pretty cool. See, that's the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like from the previous point, do what's in our worst interest. Question, ask. If you think the logo is cool, I'm like, all right, so why are you trying to fix it? I'm gonna give you my opinion. I think as somebody who's in the space, I think the logo is dope. Based on your audience, I think it probably works. So why are you trying to change it? He was like, you know what, man? We just lost the source files. We don't know where they are. So we just want to get a new logo so we can have the source files and all of that, like all the vectors and all that. I could have been like, cool, because I told him the price. I think he already knew what my price was. They were ready to move forward, but he told me why they wanted a new logo, and I was like, you know what, you can get the logo vectorized. You can get the source files, and I sent him a link with somebody to go to get the logo like digitized and vectorized. He was like, man, Thank you. So they went and did that, and they were like happy. They were like, cool. Could I have made a quick 2,500? Yes, absolutely. But it's in their, that's not in their best interest. You know what I'm saying? So just thinking about things like that, like as a problem solver, like what is the goal at the end of the day? Let me help you with that. You know, whether I get the check or not. You see what I'm saying? So just thinking about stuff from that perspective. So your average designer is probably going to try to take every little thing that they can get, regardless of if it's in the client's. But the client would have been fine, right? They would have been fine with a new logo if they wanted. They're gonna try to take every little thing, but then they're gonna burn out, or just doing things like that is it's not you're not gonna be here long. You're not gonna be here long. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know how have any other way to say it, but you guys get where I'm going with that, okay? Also, looking out for the client's pockets as well. So by the grace of God, right now I work with like higher level clients, right? So they have money to spend. You know what I'm saying? They have money to spend. But still, I look at myself as a fiduciary. Like I have their best interest in mind, of course, and their best financial interest in mind. For example, I shared this on my IG a while back. It was a client that came to me. He was like, hey man, I want a website, blah, blah, blah. We were chatting it up real quick. I was like, all right, it's gonna be 15K. He was like, cool, send me the invoice. I was like, cool. So we talked a little bit more. And I was like, oh, you don't need a full website. You just need like a little landing page, like a little one-page situation. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, my bad. That's I'll do that for like 3K. He was like, all right, cool. So looking out for their best interest. Because could I have done could I have done the landing page and charging 15K? Yes, he would have paid it and wouldn't have lost any sleep. I would have made it 15K, and I could have said, hey, you know what? Since one client paid it, my new price for one page is 15K. But nah, that's not right. That wasn't the price. That wasn't the price for what he really needed. So I could have did a better job at finding that early on, but it was more of a casual conversation. But stuff like that, like look out for your client's best interest. I just saved him 12K because I quoted him. I guess I kind of misquoted him, but I thought it was a full website at first, but I could have did it for the 15 and he would have been fine or whatever. But just looking out for the client's best interest at all times, even when it comes to if they may or may not miss the money or whatever, no matter how much money they have, that's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? I just need to do what's right. So you just need to operate with integrity at all times, because that's what's going, like, if your integrity is bulletproof, you won't ever have an issue. Nothing will ever come back to bite you. So, if let's say I would have charged a 15K, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Knowing like, okay, I just wouldn't be able to sleep at night. That's not who I am. So you just need to make sure you operate with integrity at all times, no matter who it is, no matter how much money they have to spend. And I know there's the whole saying, price the client, not the project and stuff like that. But I don't really do that. My price is my price. I charge what I charge, no matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're a 7-figure client, if you're a 6-figure client, I'm charging you what I charge. So, pricing the client, like depending on who the client, if they got more money to spend, you may charge them more. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe agencies and stuff, they do that, but I don't do that. So hope you guys get where I'm going. All right. So look out for the client's pockets. Think of who would be the best fit, even if it's not you. Okay. Also, another habit, be growth minded. Okay. Invest in yourself. I talked a little bit about this last week. Invest in yourself, books, courses, programs, whatever. Not saying overdo it. You got to make sure that you're applying this stuff too, as well. Not just consuming it, but applying it. Don't make excuses. We talked about that. Realize no one's coming to save you. Like, you have to be proactive. I talked about this last week as well. You really have to be proactive as a designer, and go get it. I gave an example last week of a gentleman who I recommended to get. It's called The Core Framework by Chris Do to learn brand strategy. He was like, hey, what can I get to learn strategy? I was like, Core by Chris. Definitely go get it. He was like, oh yeah, Chris told me about it last year. I was like, bruh, go get it. Go get it. Because, it's not just going to magically appear in your inbox. You got to go get it. So he did that. So little things like that will separate you from your average designer, because your average designer, they're not growth minded. So you just want to be growth minded. Like, you don't want to be the designer that's trying to hold on to what little you have. Like, you just don't want to operate from a place of scarcity. You got to invest in yourself. Like, it reminds me of, you guys may know Neo Davis. He put up a post the other day saying he invested $400,000 in his own self-development over the past, let's say 15 months or so. That's crazy. That's crazy. But the return on that is exponential. And I see the same thing. I haven't invested no 400,000 in 15 months. But what I do invest, I see the returns on it almost instantly. So you have to continually invest in yourself, whether it's books, whether it's programs, even something like Skillshare. Go on there, find a course or something and take that and polish up on your skills. So you have to continue to do that. Don't be afraid of putting yourself out there, raising your rates and raising your value. Okay. And refuse to live up to the stereotype of poor customer service, being unreliable, over promising and under delivering. Okay. We have that reputation a lot of the times as designers, but don't live up to that stereotype. Okay. And stop letting clients treat you any old kind of way. Okay. That's something that we don't do as high value designers. I talked about this on last Monday. Don't let clients just jump in our DMs making demands. I used to be that designer that would just do whatever. Somebody would be like, hey, you got a time for a quick call, or can I call you? Or they would messenger, call me, and I would pick up right away. I gave them the power. Then I would start the entire engagement from that place of where the client had the control, and that's not a good place to be. So you want to have the power as a designer, but you got to be able to back it up as well. And higher paying clients, they like when you take control, okay? Because they don't like micromanaging. They don't have time for that because they're in their lane of brilliance. They're in their lane of genius. They're running their business. It's the lower paying clients, the ones that like to dictate, the ones that have time to micromanage, all right, and not let you do your job. But if you take control and say, look, I got it, they can feel that. And they'll let you do your job, all right? That's what they want anyway, all right? You get out of that today. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we got a lot more people in here. Buddha Blaze, is this Blaze Design from last week? Is this just a different account? So y'all know what's good? Yeah. Cool. Sharnice, what's good? Cool. All right. Another thing. Okay. Seek to make transformations, not looking at the client as a check. Okay. Spend time with your clients to understand their true needs. So this leads right into my next one. So it wasn't a book. It's actually a framework. So if you guys want to learn how to do brand strategy, it's called the Core Framework by Chris Do and Jose Caballero, I believe. But it's right on the Future, FUTUR. But just type in Core Framework, brand strategy. It'll pop up. It's like $400 or $500, I think. It's dope. It's good. I use it. My clients love it. They said it's like therapy. Doing strategy is like therapy because it allows them to get a lot of stuff out of their head, put it down in black and white, and it allows us to move forward hand in hand. And it really informs the design process. So we go through the strategy piece, and then once I render the designs, it's like, look, I got your buy-in at the strategy when we did strategy, so nothing comes as a surprise. So it really lays the foundation for the entire engagement. Been using it for a few years. They've used it to generate millions and millions of revenue when Chris had his agency and stuff like that, and hundreds and probably thousands of designers have used it since. Not an affiliate or anything like that. It's just the standard. I mean, it's no other option in my opinion when it comes to brand strategy. For that cheaper price to learn how to do it and provide that for your clients. So yeah, and it increases the perceived value of your project. Let's say you do full branding. Like for me, I think when I started doing strategy, I went from like charging like $5K for the full branding to $10K just off of that. And not all my clients even wanted it or even value strategy, the brand strategy piece. So, but the perceived value of the entire project is that much higher because I say, look, we do brand strategy as well. So. Yup, Core. Yeah, he's talking about Core. Mm-hmm. So it's not a book. It's like a set of videos. You get some PDFs and stuff like that. But it'll walk you through. It's like very thorough. Yeah, so definitely check that out. So yeah, seek to make transformations, not looking at your clients as a check, spending time with your clients to really understand their true needs. So this leads into the next point, which is keeping the same energy throughout the engagement. And like I told you at the beginning, I made all these mistakes. So you gotta understand that. Okay, look me in my eyes. I made all these mistakes. So I was a designer, get the deposit, tell the clients, okay, it'll be 14 days or whatever. Next thing you know, somebody else is reaching out to get that deposit. Like, all right, it'll be another 14 days. Next thing you know, I'm cramming on the last day 13, day 14 to get it done because the excitement kind of fizzled off. You know, it was exciting when you get in deposit, when you first meeting the client, they're pumped up, you're pumped up. Next thing you know, you get busy, you got a lot of stuff you're working on, you're taking on too much, you're doing more than you can handle anyway. So then it's like maybe crickets. You're not really keeping the client informed. You just don't have the same excitement as you did at the beginning when you're actually working on the designs. And that's the most important part, right? So you just want to keep the same energy throughout the engagement. Keep the same energy you had at the beginning throughout the engagement all the way through delivery, okay? Because that is what will at least to sustain success, because the client is pumped up. They're happy with the final product. They're ready to give you a testimonial. That's another thing, y'all. Just a quick detour. Ask for testimonials. Ask for video testimonials. Clients, they don't care. They'll shoot them to you. I got testimonials I haven't done anything with. Like all my 7-figure clients, I got video testimonials from them. Just in a folder, just in case I need to use them. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, get video testimonials, and it'll be better for you to get them early on, right after the engagement, than it would for you to ask for them like months or years later. Like, oh hey, remember when we did such and such? Can you shoot me a video? No, just get it now, while it's fresh on their mind. Okay, while they really pumped up about the project. Okay. Yeah, so keep the same energy and make sure you're playing the long game, y'all, because it's easy as designers to we get so wrapped up in the day to day, and we already talked about how mentally exhausting it is being in this space. It's coming up with designs over and over. It's like, bro, like I have no more mind left for any of these ideas. But you gotta think, okay, I'm playing the long game. So if that's the case, what do I need to do now to make sure that I don't burn out? So I can do a whole video about burnout, but yeah, just make sure you're playing the long game and thinking long term about what you're looking to do with your business. Because if you do, then you'll just move differently throughout the day and throughout like the weeks and months. Okay. And stop thinking about the money. We talked about that last week too, but the easiest way to make more money is stop making it about the money. Make it about the service. Make it about creating the best experience you can for your client and creating the best outcome for them so they can get results. It's as simple as that, y'all. Don't make it about the money. All right. The money will come. All right. The money will come. Say what's up to y'all. Oh, snap. We got spam bots. All right. Banned. Appreciate y'all. This person was in here last week. That's crazy. Right. Yup. Okay. All right, y'all. Here's a little tough love before we get out of here. But y'all, if y'all got any questions, go ahead and drop them. And just add a Q with a colon. So I can see your questions, and I'm gonna throw the group in here as well. If you're not in my graphic design group, it's good to go group. As well on Facebook. Go ahead and join us. A little bit of tough love. So this is something I see designers do, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say something about it. Don't use celebrity deaths as a way to promote your business. So what am I saying? So like when a celebrity dies or something like that, like we'll have a designer. It's almost like a race. It's like you almost set a stopwatch. Like, oh, who's gonna do the collage for the celebrity to put it up? It's one thing if you're doing it to really honor the person and all of that, but it's another thing if you do it just to try to go viral and have your collage of the celebrity be picked up and spread across the internet, and then maybe end up on the news. I know a couple people that they legit do it every time because that's part of their business model. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they want to be known as the obituary person or whatever. But if it's not part of your business model, like if you don't do any kind of obituaries or memorials for regular folks, don't just up and do it for a celebrity just to promote your business. Like I said, if it's one thing you just want to honor the person, like let's say you was really into the person. For example, it reminds me of my guy, David Arnold. He's a comedian. One of my favorite comedians, me and my wife's favorite comedians, who passed away suddenly like a couple weeks ago. We were really touched by that. We were like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like he was getting his life together. We was kind of disappointed. I didn't do a collage or anything like that. But for example, I know somebody who's a beast at illustrations. He did a t-shirt. He did like an illustration of the guy for a t-shirt. It was really dope. But you could tell the place it's coming from. And this person, this illustrator, he does stuff like this all the time for different folks, so it made sense. You could tell like he wasn't doing it just to promote his business. His business doesn't need any promotion. But I see designers who do stuff like that. And then they'll tag their business like designed by such and such design, so to make sure that business is tagged and all of that. Like if you're doing it to honor them, just do it, put it out there in the world and let it do what it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you want to get your credit and all of that, but I just see that as a trend. And then the thing is, you do stuff like that, you quick to turn something like that around so quick, but then you got clients waiting on work from you. It's just tacky. It's tacky, y'all. It's just a habit of a low value designer. So you just want to get out of the habit of doing stuff like that. And just focus on like spend that time you will be spending on doing that collage for that celebrity. Spend that time in the lab thinking about how you can better serve your clients. So you don't have to do stuff like that. You won't feel like you need to do stuff like that to promote your business. Okay. So that's just a quick tip. It's a little bit of tough love. I know not everybody does it, but I see designers who do it. And you can really tell who does it like just from a genuine place, and other people who do it just to promote their business or just to try to go viral, get people because they want to hop on because it's going to be trending. So they want to ride the wave, and hopefully their collage kind of takes off and gets eyeballs. I get it, man. Like, it's 2022, everybody's trying to get it out here. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Some people may be struggling financially, so they're like any little thing, any little edge, any little extra bit of visibility I can get. But still, like when you do that, it may come across as desperate. And then when you're even the thing is, y'all, if you're in my group, you know how I am about this. Even if you are desperate, even if you are starving right now, and this is just my personal philosophy because I've been there, you still don't want to come across like that. You don't ever want to come across like that. It may be a pride thing, but you don't ever want to come across as desperate or that you need the project or anything like that, because when the clients feel that you need it, it's almost like a repellent. When you come across like you don't, it's like an attractant. I don't know if that's a word. They're attracted to you when they feel like, oh, he doesn't need this project. They want you even more. So you just don't ever want to come across as desperate or like you're doing something with ulterior motives, or you're just trying to get or you need it more than they need you. You know what I'm saying? So okay. All right. Let me see if I have anything. Yeah, that's kind of unrelated. I'm gonna skip that one for today. That's more of personal development, not graphic design. I may hold that one. I had another piece of tough love, but it's not necessarily graphic design related. So okay. All right, y'all. So let me jump into the questions. I have Keon. She says, what do you think about the beauty and fashion niche? So that's not my space, so I can't really speak on it. But I do know some of my students, for example, one in particular, I know she's killing it in that space. When you go in that space, I got respect. I'll say this. I got respect for people that are in that space because it's a lot. Like even their clients, they're doing a lot. Their businesses are growing quickly. So it's just a lot. It's high volume, fast paced. So I have respect for people in at least the beauty space. So my recommendation is just to niche down. So that's one niche, right? But to get deep, really zone in on your niche. So if it's beauty, like for example, that's not niche down enough. Like if I was in that space, I'd be like, okay, who do I serve? Like who can I zone in on? Who has the means to who do I enjoy working with? Who values what I do and who has the means to pay me? So like I'm gonna lock in, okay, I'm gonna work with the eyelash techs. And the thing is, no matter who you work with or how much money you think they may have, of course you need to do a little bit of research, and that comes with just having a large enough data sample to work off of, at least in my experience. But you can pretty much zone in and elevate within any niche. So for example, if I say, look, I'm gonna be working with people who do eyelashes, who create eyelashes. I don't know what the process is of creating an eyelash, but I know it's a big thing these days. Eyelash business is booming. I'm gonna say, look, I serve eyelash people, so I'm gonna go and serve the eyelash people and serve the people on the lower levels. I'm gonna get my foot in there. You know, I'm gonna do a couple free projects, something discounted. put my portfolio together, and then I'm gonna write the copy, my marketing message on my website. Like, hey, you're an eyelash person, you're a manufacturer or whatever, the tech. I'm your guy. This is what you need. This is where you are. Try to verbalize their pain points. You're doing the eyelashes. Maybe throw a little industry jargon out there. You don't have time to do your website, or you're starting to ship out, but you need e-commerce. Or I'm your guy. I can handle it. So it's like you really have to jump into their minds and think, okay, what are the pain points that they're dealing with right now, and how can I verbalize that in my messaging to cut through the clutter? Because you can do that. It's easy. It's so easy to do when you just zone in on one particular segment and then just verbalize their pain points. Because when they land on your site, when they come into contact with your brand, your touch point, if you could just speak their challenges and their pain points, you're going to win the business. It's as simple as that. As long as you can deliver, you want to be able to deliver. That's why you need to have some stuff in your portfolio first. And those initial clients may just need to trust you. But you'll be able to win the business. So hopefully that helps. Find your niche. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot of different ways to do that. So just the heads up. So I have a signature program I'm releasing next Monday. I go deep into that because it's like a whole process on how to identify your niche. But it's different ways to do it. But there's a process, a detailed process that you should follow to identify that. So just a heads up on that. But a general high level, an easy way to do it is figure out get a large enough data sample. So my recommendation is about 50 clients minimum to get a good enough data sample to figure out who it is that you enjoy working with the most out of those folks, who values what you do and who has the means to pay you what you're worth. And of course, that last piece is important, because if you let's say you enjoy working with dog walkers, they really value what you do, but they don't really have the funds to pay you to have a sustainable business, then that's dead. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do anything with that. But in my opinion, you can make a killing in any niche. It just depends on how laser focused you are on serving them. So yeah, I ain't gonna make you. I'm telling you, because that's one of the number one pain points a lot of designers have. The number one struggles. But if you get it, it's kind of difficult. But once you get it, it's like it just catapults you to a new stratosphere, Missy, to be honest. Because you just cut through, you just eliminate all the competition. It's crazy. I gave you guys an example before of when a few years ago, people would post on Facebook, hey, who does logos? Who does websites? 40 designers would be tagged. A couple people would tag me. So all the designers would respond. Hey, yeah, no, thanks for tagging me, so-and-so. Hey, if potential client, you could check out my website. This is my page. I wouldn't have to comment at all. But because I said, hey, I serve speakers, if that person was a speaker, I stood out above everybody else because I said, hey, I serve you. And I was able to verbalize what they were dealing with and what their design needs were and what their problems were on my website. So it's like I was talking to them. It's like I knew them already. So I just eliminated everybody else who was tagged because they serving everybody. And then they on there commenting, and this is, they're trying to get business, of course. But the fact that I don't comment and the fact that I serve them, it's like, okay, this guy must be busy. A couple people have tagged him and he serves speakers. So it's like I got 3 points on my side, whereas everybody else, they just commenting. Not to say that they're looking desperate, but the fact that they serving everybody and not zoned in on one particular niche, they're not separating themselves from everybody else. What's good? Warriors Collection Network. What's good? Good to see you. Time for too long not to have stuff either. The thing is, Missy, don't feel bad because a lot of designers are in your boat, in the same boat right now, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing right now. That's why this is my assignment right now, because I see the same. It's the same struggles over and over with designers, where something like that, even something as simple as charging what you're worth. It's the difference between a $60K a year business or a $120K a year business, and you have a lot more options when you had a $120K a year business. You can get help. You won't be stressed out. the work that you'll be working on will have more impact. It's a different place to be. And the thing is, it's limitless. I was talking to my wife. She says I get too personal on these. I need to wrap this up. But I mentioned last week how much we made last year. It was 266 last year. And when I was really thinking about it, I was like, I probably operated like maybe 20% of my capacity last year and was able to do that. Like I didn't really put in any real effort last year. Like no real effort. You know, wasn't on social, just chilling. You know, clients came to me, I took them, sent some stuff out to other designers. You know, if it wasn't a good fit, I was chilling last year, y'all. Chilling. When I really think about it, I wasn't working hard. I was working hard for my clients, but in terms of like really trying to drum up business, keep the buzz going, I wasn't really doing anything. So why am I saying that? It's limitless out here. The ground is fertile. And especially right now heading into this recession, because that's when high level clients double down on their business. They invest aggressively. They don't hold on. They don't like hold on to what they got. They don't have the scarcity mindset. That's when they get more aggressive. And that's when more high level clients are created. Am I looking at it selfishly? Maybe I am. But I know, okay, it's like almost like you got a big whale, right? And they see a school of fish. But right now, it's like if I'm the whale, I know this school of fish is about to get even larger. It's about to be an even larger school of fish in front of me because of this recession. I saw it happen during the pandemic. You know, more millionaires were created during the pandemic than ever before. The same is going to continue to happen during this recession. You know, the downside is, of course, we want to be mindful of you know, the lower class of people that get squeezed out by inflation and stuff like that. Same thing's going to happen with designers, unfortunately. So if you don't increase your pricing, increase your value, increase your skills right now, you're going to get put out of business during the recession. But the thing is, on the flip side, if you say, look, if you make a commitment, look, I'm going to be a high value designer. I'm going to serve clients at a high level. I'm going to increase my pricing. I'm going to come across as a premium service provider and not the bargain brand. It's limitless. It's limitless. And the thing is, it's so many more fish than it is whales. Got a couple whales out here. So it's like all these fish. You're like, oh, well, we need high level designs. Where they at? You got me, you know what I'm saying? A couple other people with, we're lacking out here, especially designers of color. It's not a lot of high level designers out. It's just not, you know, it's just not. So the ground is fertile. We need more. We need more high level designers. Even right now, bro, like as I'm starting to do more of this stuff, people are still in my DMs like, hey, how much you charge? You know, people already spend money. I'm talking about 5 figures with me right now. I'm like, I'm not doing it. But I would love to have I got people in my group, but I would love to have people that I felt solid about. And I could talk more about this in my program, but like professional email address, professional website, you ready to go, you ready to work, you got your portfolio, you're not sending me a Google Drive link with a couple. It's like, I would love to have several designers just at the ready that I could just plug people in with, not posting crazy stuff on social media, you know, like it would be great. That's what I'm saying. I got to work on a directory, but it's so much business out here, potential business out here, and it's just not enough designers. So I don't even feel right a lot of the times referring. Like I'd be having like professional. I had a client, one of my clients, good clients, has a professional athlete who needed a website. I could have taken it, but I'm like, no, I'm not accepting clients right now. But it would have been great to say, look, go to this person, boom. So I had to send her a list of people that probably could do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not enough people that have their stuff together, their business in order, and they're ready to serve, you know? So that's why I'm on this assignment right now, okay? Okay. Communications chick, what's good? Is this Tavia? What is good? So opportunity with leverage and those offering scarcity were left behind. Yup, it's as simple as that. You know, these are the tough conversations we gotta have right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. Oops. I think I just did something. I got to bring that comment back at some point. Let me try this. All right, there we go. Cool. All right, y'all got any questions for me before I get out of here? Yes, Jen. Yup. Jen, I already know, Jen. I already know. Had our coaching call last week. I already know. But yeah, it's so much out here, y'all. It's a state of emergency. It's a state of emergency in a good way. But these clients, if I'm an advocate for the high level clients, the middleman or whatever, they need us bad. And even me, as I transition into coaching, like I can't be the guy anymore. I mean, I love to be, but I feel like I'm on this assignment to make more me's. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even the best. So it ain't even about skill, y'all. Skill is such a small piece. It's about having everything, like the whole package. Your processing order, your communication, your CRM, your business setup, the right way. You know, so because they have accountants, they got people that are looking at these charges. So they see the 10, 15, 20K website branding. They don't question it when they go and do some research on you and your website. They're like, okay, yeah, that's legit. You know, if you come across as the homie, it's like, where's this guy website? Why is he using a Gmail? You know what I'm saying? No, just have your stuff in order, y'all. It's out here. The business is out here, y'all. It's out here. It's good to see y'all, man. Truly. Camera settings. I get this all the time. So I use a Canon R6. And I use Ecamm Live to broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. And the mic is a Shure SM7B. And I'm using I think it's a Sigma 20 millimeter lens, or it might be a 16 millimeter lens. Yeah, Thursday is the last day. All right, y'all. If y'all aren't in the group, join us. Good to go group over on Facebook, or just type in good to go. Okay. Type that in. List off the 7 habits. It was actually more. So yeah, I can just run down a quick list. I just had mad bullets. Don't make excuses. Communicate. Take ownership. Constantly think of ways to add more value than you're paid for. Do what's in your worst interest. So just do what's in the client's best interest. Don't come across as desperate. Look out for the client's pockets. Be growth-minded. Refuse to live up to the stereotype. Stop letting clients treat you any old kind of way. Seek to make transformations, not looking at the clients as a check. Keep the same energy throughout the engagement. Play the long game. Stop thinking about the money. And then the tough love section, I talked about, stop using celebrities' deaths as a way to promote your business, because it's tacky. Boom. Yes, get active. And I feel you. I have a love-hate relationship with social media, but I decided that I'm especially as moving into this lane, I gotta be on here. So I'm gonna do it. So yeah, but I have a love-hate relationship. I was so close to deleting my social media like several times. I even temporarily deleted it, and I had Joe running the group. I was like, nah, my people need me. Cool. Focus setting. Focus. It's just autofocus. But yeah, I think it's a Sigma something. I think it's a 20 millimeter. So yeah. But yeah, check out the Ecamm videos. Head over to Ecamm. I'll talk more about that stuff over there. But great to see you guys. I appreciate it. Join us. We got one more episode left. And my program is coming out next week, which is gonna change the game, y'all. It's the whole blueprint. To be honest, the whole blueprint to have a sustainable 6-figure graphic design business. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday evening, and I will see you guys next week. Well, not next week, Thursday. Peace.